Hello, I'm Allie Duzett. This is the Q&A for the grounding session. How are you guys? How are you feeling? What changes did you notice? How are your bodies feeling? Thank you. If you have something you'd like to share, you can type it into the chat or you can unmute yourself and share. Mine is tingly. I felt the I felt the feet open, but I still feel like my spirit is right in front of me. I'm getting you have very big blocks to being grounded. And have you completed the entire Healing from Ritual Abuse series? That is going to be the first thing. I'm getting it has not, if you have done it, I'm getting it has not gone through more than 10%. See if that feels accurate when you ask yourself. I'm getting that there is, I dissociated while doing it. Yeah, you're going to want to scribble a lot and just keep working through that one until it's through 100%. Because I don't know that you will be able to be grounded until that work is done. So I would say to just keep chopping away at it a little bit at a time, as long as it takes, because that has to get cleared for your spirit to feel safe in your body. Okay, I yawned a lot. Oh, you're so nice. Oh, you guys are so nice. I was crying and yawning on slide 1. I can breathe more deeply. Yeah. Should I do healing from ritual and sexual abuse? I would recommend it. I actually recommend those for everybody, even if you have never been abused, because we're clearing it from our generational line. Like, we can still be affected by it, even if we didn't experience it personally. And if you have been abused, then 10,000%, yes, you should go do those immediately. Go get them done. If you have been abused, those are super key. If you haven't, they're still super key, because I can guarantee that between you and Adam and Eve, someone in your family line has been abused, and you need to clear it for them, because they probably didn't have an energy worker to do it with them. I'll come back to the anxiety in just a second. Is it bad to want to be able to astrally project sometimes? I don't think it's bad to want that. For me, I personally do not believe astral projection is like a good idea. And I do think it can kind of mess up your systems if your systems are not really functional. But the thing is, most people's systems are not that functional. Like, if you are completely and totally healthy and your energy system is like 100%, then sure, maybe try it. But I don't know. I don't think it's bad to want to do it. I mean, it sounds cool, right? But, to me, I think it's better that we mostly stay in our bodies and, save astral projection for when we're 100% healed in every way. And we don't, I feel like it is not always helpful to our healing process, basically. Okay. Let me do this. Can I ground for my children? Yeah, you can try it. If when you're doing it by proxy, so what you would do, you would rewatch this and you would watch it and say to yourself, like, I'm watching this for Susie, my child, and so and then you watch it and imagine that you were her as you were doing it. If it doesn't go through for her, then what that would tell you is that there's some other kind of foundational work that needs to be done. If it's something like healing from the ritual abuse series or something else, it's just going to tell you that she has a block to grounding. But you could do this by proxy for a child. I don't recommend doing proxy work for adults without their express permission. I feel like if they're adults that are capable of doing it for themselves, they should just do it for themselves. Like, for us to do stuff like this for grown-ups that are capable of doing it, I feel like that's just bad boundaries. But for your children, yeah. When you were manually grounding in the conclusion, my lower lip started quivering, and when you were done, my left hand started tingling. When that first came in, I had sort of like jerking around. I like feel that. I feel like, for you, I don't know. I would say for you, it's going to take a couple of days for your system to, process. I thought I was grounded before. I realized abuse has kept me ungrounded. Yikes. Yeah. Do you think God ever wants you to astral project to help people? I have friends who say they spend hours during the night helping people with angels. I don't understand what that is. Yeah, I think there's a difference. I think there's a difference between astral projection and what you're describing. Astral projection is like when you are lucid dreaming, so it's not like a dream, okay? It's like real life, and your body is asleep, but your spirit is outside of your body, and you are fully conscious, and you can see everything. And so, as an example, in the military psychic espionage program, they had their psychic spies learn to astral project, and they would astral project themselves into like Russian compounds, and they could open the drawer, or like reach into a drawer energetically and like read the papers inside. Okay, so like that's the kind of level of depth and consciousness that's involved in astral projection. When you're asleep and you're dreaming that you're helping people, I think that's 100% different, and I don't think there's a problem with that. For some people, can being overjoyed make you ungrounded? I'd say yeah. I mean, like there's a scriptural precedent for that, obviously. So perhaps yeah, but to me, I would say maybe you need to work on your grounding system, man. Talking about returning the spirit to the body in order to avoid physical pain has been a huge thing for me. I've completed the healing from SRA and sexual abuse and wondered whether I should redo those in order to make this grounding more effective. I yawned a ton though. Let's see. Whew, just tuning into your energy is like, wah. Okay, wah. Let's see. I think you might consider rewatching those. Yeah. Ask your own body, but my sense is that there's still my sense for you is that they're mostly through, but not 100% through. And so you might try scribbling out resistances to them going all the way through. And that might actually be enough. You might not have to rewatch them, because I'm getting for you personally, they've each gone through over 90%, but not 100%, and not like 98%, but like 91%. Okay, let's go to Hasanath. Anxiety. Let's see. And have you done the Healing from Ritual Abuse series? Okay, and have you done all of it? Okay, I'm getting for you, it also has not gone through 100%, but it has gone through like mostly. Let's check out what's going on. I'm hearing a trigger. In an energetic system and not a physical system. Anxiety processing pathway. All right, go ahead and tap, 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 and just start, or like just move your body around, please, to help shift this energy. Whatever movement you can do to help it clear, just set the intention. I'm clearing this anxiety with my movement, and I'm still trying to access exactly what is triggering this. Okay. Okay, picking up a block makes sense. Can it clear yet? No. Fear of clearing that block, fear of being grounded, not wanting to be in my body. I'm seeing a bunch of instances of like basically like a ritual type of stuff. Let's see. Generational anxiety coming up from being grounded, big resistances on both sides of your family line. Can it clear now? No. I am hearing do it for us. Like if you have it in you to rewatch the Healing from Ritual Abuse series on behalf of your ancestors, particularly, I think I would really, really recommend that. Because it seems like you have a bunch of ancestors that really need that work done. So let's see. So there. Okay, so I'm putting in a boundary between you and your ancestors so that either you're not going to be processing this for them unless you specifically say like, this is the time I'm going to process this for you. So breathe in, imagine that boundary going up and see if you feel a shift at all. And somebody asks, I would like to know if my healing needs to be done for more for me or for my ancestors. I would say your top priority is always you because you are you, but you also, I mean, our ancestors also have to be a priority at some point, like maybe not right away, but once you're in a pretty good space, working on your ancestors is really important. Okay, a little less shaky now. Thank you. Okay, let's see. Okay, imagine a light switch that has been turned on from this and imagine just turning it off and see if that helps. Five. I'm getting image number 5 was possibly the trigger. Do you know when you started feeling that big anxiety? Let me see if I can pull up my, oh, there we are. That was the astral projection slide. Let's see. Yeah, image 5. Okay. Yeah, when I am tuned to your energy and I even just think the word astral projection, I feel like this enormous amount of panic like right in there. I'm feeling all these generational issues with astral projection and like related weird stuff. Can it clear yet? No. I feel like a curse on you being in your body is coming up. So let's just clear that for everybody. Go ahead and tap, tap, tap. Now clearing any curses on my spirit being fully within my body. Wow. Shake it out, shake it out. And then resetting as if the curse had never been there for everybody. Anybody for whom that applies, we're resetting and flushing out the system that was carrying that energy. Replacing any parts that need to be replaced. Okay. Okay, and see how you're feeling. Okay, you say better. Are you talking like better, like slightly better, or like much better? A little bit better, okay. I'm getting that what is remaining, ask your own body for verification on this, but I'm getting that this may also be just processing, because when, like in nature, when stressful things happen, animals just shake. It's called neurogenic tremors, and they just shake, shake, shake. And they don't get like PTSD because they just shake out the stress. I'm getting that this shaking may, this residual shaking may just be processing. and it should be pretty much done within 2 hours, but probably 1 hour. So ask your body if that feels true, because I don't want to leave you hanging, but I also think that this is probably just going to resolve very shortly, but it may be important. I did create a session on shaking. If you want me to send you the link for that, that will help. It actually does make you shake more, but on purpose, like controlled shaking to help shake out stress. Thank you for that reminder. Yeah. Okay, so your job is going to be to drink a lot of water and just shake, and don't feel scared about it. Just shake it out, and I think you're going to feel a lot better. Later on tonight, you'll feel better tomorrow. I think that will be the case for you. So let me scroll up because I know I had missed some other stuff. If it's going to take my body a couple of days to process, should I wait a few days to do any more healing sessions? That might be smart. You could ask your body. Now, the thing about bodies and processing is that if you do things like scribbling, or like if you put on music and do like a dance party and you set the intention, like my dance party is going to process this session, you can cut down your processing time significantly. So when I'm trying to figure out processing time for people, especially in my sessions, a lot of times what I'll ask is like, if I just don't do anything, how long will it take them to process? If I scribble for 20 minutes, how much longer will they have to process? If I scribble for 40 minutes, if I do a dance, like, dance party for this session, how much time is that going to shave off the processing time? So you may be able to cut down your processing time significantly just by engaging in like targeted motion, because what we're actually doing is metabolizing these emotions. We're breaking them down. We're breaking down the chemicals of these emotions. Can we scribble to process? 100%. You can. That's why scribbling, that's why we do it, is to process. That's what it is. What would we write on the paper? For this, you could just write whatever I need to process left over from the grounding session. You don't have to be super specific. You can just say like grounding session leftovers or whatever. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's scroll back up. For Samsung SM N95OU, is there anything else I should do that comes to your mind? I'm getting yes, but I think I might have to look at my complete roster of stuff. Oh, Erin, okay. Yeah, I'll have to go look up my whole thing of, I feel like there's a session that would probably be helpful to you right now, but I don't have my whole list of sessions in front of me right now. So I would say to probably just log in and just feel it out with your heart. I'm getting you would be on the right side on your screen if you're on a desktop. Tina, my feet are still tingly. The part of this session that jumped out at me was fear that grounding would mean I have to act on intuition I receive. Yeah. Tuning into that feeling, it does feel a little jittery. Whew. Shake it out. Whew. It can be really scary to act on intuition, and I think all of us have felt that before, where and especially because sometimes intuition is wrong, like nobody's right all the time. Like I'm not right all the time, and sometimes that's awkward, but we just do our best and take it a little step at a time. One thing that I did early on was I would ask Heavenly Father for chances, like low stakes chances to practice my intuition. And my favorite story of this is when I went to a grocery store years ago, and I felt like I passed a cabbage, and it was like, buy that cabbage. And I was like, God, what are you thinking? Like, why would you tell me that? Ew, no, like, I'm not going to buy a cabbage. That's disgusting. Like, I'll never eat that thing. Why would you tell me that? And I was just like, could that possibly have been God or my intuition? Like, that's insanity. Nobody eats cabbages, And I was like, oh. I finished going shopping. I went home, and then that night I realized that all of these things had lined up so that if I was going to have laser eye surgery, I basically had to do it like in a few weeks. But I was nursing my child at the time, and so I would have to wean that child, and I'd have to start the weaning process like the next day. And so I did. And as I sat there and my boobs were hurting so bad, I was like looking up, Googling up, what do you do when you're weaning? How can you help with the pain? And what comes up? Cabbage leaves. And I thought, like, geez, my intuition knew that I needed a cabbage today. And like an idiot, I ignored myself because I thought cabbages are gross, because I thought, why would you need a cabbage? And anyways, then I bought a cabbage later and used it. And the stuff that I didn't use, I decided to give it a try. And now it's like my favorite vegetable of all. So there you go. But I really feel like if you ask, if you say, okay, God, intuition, tell me something low stakes that I can do, give me things to practice with that are tiny, that nobody needs to know about. Like, nobody would need to know this cabbage story if I didn't want to tell it to you. Like, nobody would ever need to know that. It wasn't a public event, it wasn't um it wasn't like I had to tell anybody something awkward or like do something super weird. Like, it's normal to buy cabbages for some people, um so anyway, go practice with small things. My intuition keeps telling me to spend more time outside even in this cold weather, and I keep ignoring it. Well, you know what to do. It's time to put on your coat, time to put on your boots, go outside, go take a walk. I've steamed cabbage on my breast while trying to wean. Oh my gosh, it's so real. It's so true. Okay, what is the difference between intuition and promptings? So I got this question in an email also this week. So here's my understanding of it. Okay, I would consider promptings as coming from like God, the divine, your higher power, the universe, whatever you believe in, but it's like the higher thing, you're like the higher power. Okay, your intuition is from you. Okay, and so it's from your higher self. So one thing that I've talked about in sessions and classes before is that, to me, what integrity means is that you are in alignment with yourself, right? And that's what the world agrees. Like, when you live in integrity, it means you're living in alignment with your inner feelings. Your actions are aligning with your heart. But for me, I would take that a step further and say true integrity is when your heart is aligned with the divine. So and then your actions are aligned with your heart, and your heart is aligned with the divine, if that makes sense. And so what falls to us is that it's about more than just being in integrity, doing what we feel like is right. It's also making sure that what we feel like is right is what God thinks is right. Does that make sense? So for me, the definition of integrity is like a step further than just living in alignment with yourself. It's living in alignment with the divine. When your heart is in alignment with the divine, your intuition and your promptings are going to be remarkably similar because you and God are on the same page, right? So at that point, it gets a little bit blurry because is it a spiritual prompting from like the Holy Spirit and God Himself? Is it a whisper of intuition from your own higher self and your own spirit? When you're in alignment with the divine, it's going to be about the same, because as you become more and more one with the divine, what difference is there? You're going to have the same values, you're going to be having the same goals. When people are out of alignment with the divine, and when they have big like unresolved stuff they have to take care of, when they're living out of alignment with the universal laws, that's when you might feel bigger differences between divine promptings and like your own intuition. When you're having intuitive insights that seem to be contradicting your understanding of the divine, to me, that is a message that it's time to get your own spirit in alignment with the divine. And a story that I want to tell you real quick, just because it's coming into my mind and I hope it's helpful to somebody, is that years ago, when I was my third eye first opened, like 5 or 6 years ago, I was thinking about this concept, and I looked at my own heart, and it looked so yucky, and I was like, ew, like I would never listen to this thing. Like, ew, this heart is gross. Like, no one should take this thing seriously, you know? And I asked God for a heart transplant. And I I just told him in prayer, like, God, this heart is disgusting, but like I don't know how to fix it. It looks like it's beyond repair. Like it's nasty. Like you need to take it out and like do heart surgery on me. And and I felt like God was like, okay, if that's what you want, I will give you heart surgery. And so I wrote about this on my old blog. I think it's called like I had open heart surgery or something. I think that's the name of the post. I'll have to go find it. But I laid down on my bed and I like imagined I was going into surgery, and I felt like this angel came and like cut me open and like took out this heart and replaced it with a brand new heart. But after that day, I actually felt really different. Like I had different emotions and I had different ways of thinking. And so that might be something you might want to meditate on and ask about, is asking the divine for an open heart surgery that brings your heart in greater alignment with the divine. We can't expect that we're going to have massive shifts immediately, right? Like it's really rare that people go from wherever they're at to like a sudden massive shift. Like we change day by day, but you know, the world is shifting. Things are speeding up. I don't know if you feel it. I feel like everybody's feeling it. Things are speeding up. And what we're going to see, you will see it. I feel like I can guarantee this to you. In the coming days, weeks, months, years, but even now, even right now, this week, you will see how the time is compressing right now, and how the time between cause and effect is squishing down. Okay. In the past, I feel like we could get away with a whole lot of stuff before our consequences would catch up. But here we are, and things are speeding up, and we're going to see for ourselves how things are going to start, consequences are going to start piling up. You know, this is the time to be resolving our past gunk so that we don't have an everlasting slog of negative consequences to be dragging ourselves through. Wow. I have no idea where that came from. You're welcome. I don't even know what we were talking about. Okay. I believe intuition, grounding, and anxiety are so closely related. Yes. I have had a very hard time knowing the difference between intuition and is that my anxiety talking to me? Yeah. Have you taken my Axe Anxiety series? Because I will recommend that. Axe Anxiety. It's such a great series. Okay. Oh, yay. Hooray. Great. Well, I think that will help a lot. But yeah, that is something that I ask myself as well sometimes. I don't feel like I'm an anxious person or anything like that. But with everything going on right now on a national level, you know, even just a couple days ago, I woke up and I was like, today's a day to go food storage shopping. And then I had to sit there and say, okay, am I buying food storage out of a space of fear or out of a space of intuition, you know? And I had to just sit there and feel it out. And I didn't really feel anything either way. And so so the thing to try is Intuitive Answers. The tutorial is in the free stuff on allieduzettclasses.com. It's called Intuitive, like Receiving Intuitive Answers or something like that. But anyway, I felt like calm. And so I felt like, okay, well, calm isn't anxiety. So I guess, you know, if I have the money to go buy some food storage and I don't feel like it is fearful, like if I just feel calm about it and I feel like I want to, and I wake up and I feel like I guess I should do it, then maybe I should just do it, you know? So I went and bought some more food storage, you know? So I feel like when you're tuning in to that question of, is it intuition? Is it anxiety? You know, anxiety is probably not going to feel very calm. Intuition should feel calm. Even if it's giving you like a big warning, there should be that like grounded sense to it, right? It's going to feel like calm in its way. I hope that makes any sense. Whereas anxiety, I feel like it's just got that like quivery, trembling feeling to it, you know? So it's just this matter of really tuning into your body and feeling, is this a quivery, trembling feeling, or is this like a sturdy, calming feeling? This week, I have been unusually irritated and angry. Can healing work shift things and uncover unresolved emotions? 10,000%, yes, it can. This is how I explain it. If you imagine a bottle of Coca-Cola, okay? No, that's terrible. That's gross. Okay. A bottle of tonic water, also gross, but in a different way. It's clear, but it's carbonated. And imagine that this bottle of tonic water has mud at the bottom, okay? Like a bunch of mud. Maybe it's almost mud all the way up, okay? When we're doing energy work, we unscrew the tonic water, right? And then it's like we pour it out into this bucket, and we're like getting it out, getting all the mud out. And then we take some of the mud out of the bucket, we throw it out, and then we like pour all of the seltzer water and the mud back in, the remaining mud. And then it takes a few days to settle. But in the meantime, it was carbonated, and now it's all like shaken up and fizzing. There's mud, there's less mud, but the mud that's there is going to be floating around instead of settled at the bottom. That's what every energy work session is. It's going to shake you up, it's going to move stuff around. And that's true on an energetic level, it's true on a physical body level, because all of these things that we're working with have chemical structures, right? Every emotion that you feel is molecular. When you're clearing out the emotions that are keeping you from wanting to be grounded, so we just cleared those out. But imagine that those are underneath some emotions about, I don't know, being bullied at school when you were 9 years old. Okay. So now we just moved out the grounding motions. Now what's left? Oh, I was bullied at school. And now those are going to settle. And while they're settling, they're kind of free floating. And so as they're free floating, they're going to be hitting different receptors in your body that are going to be saying, oh, I'm so mad. People were bullying me. But it's not a conscious thing, it's a chemical thing. And so you're just saying like, I don't know why I'm so mad, but it's because we just disrupted a whole system, which was good. We needed to clean out that system, but there was more stuff around, and now it needs to settle again. So I hope that explanation makes sense. But that is how I understand all this work works. I didn't think I needed the anger series, but now I feel I do. Whew, it's a doozy, man. You will be stunned if you do it. It is a super doozy. So I've done a few sessions with you recently. I was emotional mess Sunday and Monday. Is that normal? Yeah, that can be normal. It's like processing. It's like the mud is settling. But like we were talking about earlier in this Q&A, if you like scribble, do a dance party that says like, I'm gonna get my emotions out through dance, you know, or go running, go lift weights, like go just move your body. We're moving our body because our emotions are chemicals inside of our physical bodies, and we have to move them. You have to pee them out. That's why I always say drink water. That's the real deal. You gotta pee them out. That's it. That's the facts. So go pee them out, go drink some water, do a dance party, like sweat them out. Your water is going to flush it out. That's why you cry. So if you drink water, we're going to flush it out through urine. We're going to flush it out through sweat. We're going to break down the molecules of emotion and release them from the body using water. And so, yeah, it can be normal to be an emotional mess. And it means things are still processing. Ideally, you don't be an emotional mess because you finish processing during the session. So if your body is not processing completely during a session, what that should tell you is that something came up that needed extra attention from you, either like in the form of like scribbling or moving it out, or like consciously you needed to say like, I'm consciously acknowledging that I'm upset I was bullied when I was 9 years old. I'm upset that Susie bullied me. I can't believe she said this one mean word to me. So unfair, you know, digging into the specifics. When the more specific you get, the more specific emotions can clear. And so when you get in those emotional ruts after sessions, it's a sign that you need to go a little bit deeper. You might need to watch it again. I need to scribble or whatever. Or you might just be able to wait it out and just be emotional for a day or two, and then it will be fine. But if you want to speed up the process, that's when you do things like scribbling, dance party, all that kind of thing. Do you feel I need the healing from yesterday? I'm getting a yes on that, but I would say consult your own self. I feel like literally all humans will benefit from that because we have it in our family lines. And because I do believe that all of us existed before we were born, and that before we were born as spirits, we have witnessed other people experiencing ritual abuse. And a lot of people are really surprised when they do that series because they're like, I was never abused. And it's like a massively enormous session for them. Because guess what? We come here traumatized, and that's what we're going to be working on. Next is the general pre-birth trauma session, where we're going to be working through, I don't remember, maybe 10 major scenarios that, I've been working with pre-earth trauma for like years and years. These are kind of like the top like 8 or 9 or 10 most common traumas that I find in people from before they were born, the traumas that we're born with that influence us every day, and we don't even know because we don't remember it. But if we just clear it, you will see for yourself how you feel like really different. If I were to do sessions for myself, does it affect my living siblings and parents? Yeah, it does. It's not the same as them doing it for themselves. Like if they do it for themselves, they will get 100% of the benefit from that. But every time that someone in a family does healing work, it does affect the entire family to some degree, according to how much all the people choose into that affecting them. I'll just tell you, I think a lot of it has to do with genetics. I do. I feel like a lot of it has to do with our physical blood, and that the more blood you share with a relative, when you heal your own body, it affects your blood, the water in your body, right? And then you, and that affects the blood of everyone else that shares that kind of blood. And I don't know, I might write a big old essay about it or teach a class on it or something like that. But the short version is it does affect them. It's not as effective as them doing it. But everything that you do for yourself is going to bless your family in a couple of ways. Physically, as your body changes and it's connected to theirs can also make shifts. But also just when you heal, you're going to act differently. And when you act differently, you're going to be triggering different things in them. And you're going to be a good example that's showing them what healing looks like. You're going to be an inspiring example for them. Like there's a whole lot of different ways that it's going to affect the people that you interact with. I feel more grounded than ever before. I felt a lot of self-love during this session. Can grounding help me get more in touch with my diaphragm? I feel like I breathe with my neck muscles. But just reading that, I heard the word yes, but I do feel like the real place to work on is your solar plexus chakra. And when I tune into you for that, it's like, yes, 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 yes. So I would say go scribble on your solar plexus chakra. It looks like it is paralyzed. I don't know if that feels accurate, but that's the word that came into my mind. It's like possibly all tied up very tight. So you're going to want to loosen up that solar plexus chakra. The solar plexus chakra governs the nervous ganglia over the diaphragm. So they would control the diaphragmatic movement. Okay, I'm way better, but now I feel like I have chains on like handcuffs. Yes. Okay, for those handcuffs, I feel like that is the punishment of somebody, an energetic entity that does not like what you have done in getting grounded. So I'm going to ask you to have enough faith to have an angel come and just snippy snip, cut and remove the handcuffs and just say, I reject this. I reject that. Like, you don't get to handcuff me. What is your take on grounding products? For example, a grounding mat. I love them. Frankly, I super love them. I have spent so much money on Vibes Up products. I cannot even tell you, like, I feel like I don't know. I just buy all of their junk every day. Yeah, my favorite grounding item is definitely the Vibes Up mats, and I'll just type in vibesup.com, or now I just said it to you, vibesup.com. Man, I buy all sorts of weird stuff from there, but I love all of it. And so, oh, my phone is here. So this is the cell phone cover for it, and it has this is the thing that it looks like. It's just like ground up gemstones. Gemstones are really grounding, and they're really protective against EMF. And so my house, I mean, this is my husband's office, but where I spend all of my day, I have crystals all over the walls. I went up and bought like the biggies. I have like big old crystals like all over the rest of my house. So this is ground up crystals in silicone and essential oils. So it smells very magical. Not that I'm smelling my cell phone very much, but I keep this on my cell phone. I'm like extremely EMF sensitive. And so if I don't have something like this on my phone, then I'm a mess. My hands go numb. I get like a rash on my hands from using my cell phone. It's really hard for me to use electronics without this kind of stuff. And so I also have like a ton of essential oils, like so many more than you can imagine. And but this Vibes Up stuff, they make mats, and so I bought those and I've cut them up into squares, because one mat is like $99. Like, they're expensive, and I'm talking like the size of a sheet of paper, but they're very powerful. So, and they go on sale. They go on sale a couple times a year for like a quarter price. So you wait until it's 75% off, and then you buy it, and then you cut it up into little pieces, and I stick them in my kids' beds so that my kids have that stuff. They sleep on that. And my sister, I either gave her some or she bought some because I did it. And she said her son would always sleep really weird on his bed. And then she only had one son until recently. And so she just had like the whole mat under his sheet. And he'd always sleep in this weird spot on his bed. And then one day he peed the bed. So she stripped the bed and found out that he always sleeps on top of that mat. He like curls up to just be on that grounding mat. So yeah, my kids just get like a little square. I've cut it up into really small pieces, like the size of my cell phone piece, and put them under the seats in the car, because your body's not connected to the earth when you're in the car. So I do keep grounding products in my car. I don't know that they're necessarily necessary, but I like how I feel better when I have them. I keep this material by my bed. I have like little pyramids and like little, just every kind of weird junk. Anything on that website made of this, I probably own it. I probably have 3 of them. They're probably everywhere. My house is probably drowning in them. So yeah, I'm really into that, but they are expensive. So you just wait until they get on sale, get on their email list, and they have like ridiculous sales very regularly. I mean, like 60% off. So wait until it's 60% off and then order it, and that will be very much better for your pocketbook. I've heard that grounding mats help with sleep and reducing inflammation. Yeah, that's totally true. And yeah, I also have the same company makes this stuff and puts it in like wraps. How do you put it? Just like fabric. How do I put it? My best friend hurt her back the other day, so I bought her a back wrap with this stuff in it, and it's just like a Velcro fabric with this stuff in it, and you just like tape it or like Velcro it onto yourself. So I have those, and I have like a sleeping mask that has that. It feels so good. But yeah, they help a lot. And so you can, if you get on their email list, I'm sure you'll see this picture of this lady whose like grandpa fell. He had this black bruise, and so she put on one of those like pads or I'm sorry, the wraps on it with that stuff. And then she took it off and the picture is like the bruise gone. And then like you can see the line where the bruise is black above it. It's like pretty crazy. Let's see. Let me see if I can find it for you. Because they send that picture out in like almost all emails. Duh, if I was them, I would do that. Like, it's pretty great. Here it is. I'll share my screen. Screen share. Okay. Okay. So 78 years old. This is the wrap. They put the all-purpose energy wrap around the middle of the bruise. And so you see that amazing line. It's like, what? So anyways, that's what I love. So I have like flip-flops of that stuff. Oh yeah, it's crazy, but that's my favorite product. I know there's like other stuff out there, but Vibes Up was just the first one I ever found and I just loved it, so I just use it. So I don't know about any other ones. I've just had an extreme amount of product loyalty to this one brand. Anyway, okay, does anybody have any other questions before we call it a night? Cool. Well, thank you so much. If you have other questions, you can go post them in the group. And otherwise, I'll see you next time. Thanks for being here. Drink lots of water, and you may need to rewatch this, but let's give it a day or two, let everything settle, and see how different you feel. Oh, one last question. I've been trying to scribble and nothing is happening. Scribble on the paralyzed solar plexus. Literally just write paralyzed solar plexus. That's all that you have to do. But follow the instructions at allieduzett.com/scribbling. And it has instructions for how to chop up very big energies and just do a little bit at a time. Because when people scribble and feel no difference, it's because what they're trying to do is too big. You have to make it small and do a little bit at a time. And yeah, it might take 5 minutes a day for like 200 days. But that still means your problem is gone in only 200 days. Like, that's pretty sweet. So yeah, follow the instructions there, chop up the energy of the paralysis, and then scribble just a little bit at a time. And be sure that you always get to the empty circle before you declare a session done. Okay, thank you guys for being here. I just love you so much. Hopefully I'll see you very soon for the pre-birth trauma session coming up soon. So good. Okay, good night, guys.